What's up, Broncos Country? Welcome in to our Broncos Breakdown mailbag, which we air every single live show on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Mountain Time, answering your pressing Denver Broncos questions. And before we get started, obviously, we've got a massive Week 4 matchup. And if you want to see the Denver Broncos win, subscribe for Broncos Dubs. Sub for Broncos Dubs. Don't be the guy that doesn't hit that sub button for fresh, entertaining, informative Denver Broncos content and help them beat the Cincinnati Bengals. That leads me into a question that I definitely want to ask you. Is this a must-win game for the Denver Broncos? Yes or no? I think it absolutely is. Not because the Cincinnati Bengals pose a massive threat, but it is a get-right game against an inferior team with a backup quarterback. You got to win this game. With that being said, let's jump in to our first question from Weatherspoon, excuse me. What's up, dude? Welcome into the show. What do you, the offense and defense, have to do to turn things around on both sides of the ball to get things rolling? You have to have more success on offense on earlier downs. The Denver Broncos rank dead last in the NFL. True fact, by the way, in early down success rate at 32%. That's beyond terrible. That means on first and second down, they cannot move the ball effectively. And that means Bo Nix, who's only a year two quarterback, has to perform on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and 3rd and 10. We can't expect him to be that great yet. It's just not his game. So you got to establish the ball on the ground a little bit more. Get the run game going earlier. Try not to have as many second half adjustments to get the ground game going. Establish it in the first, take a lead, and then coast the rest of the game. Defensively, stop giving up big plays. I'm looking at you, Riley Moss, who I have a feeling we'll talk about later in some capacity because a lot of fans are clamoring for him to get benched so far. Let's go, Pop, please. Do we trade for a linebacker now to replace Greenlaw? Excuse me. I've made a couple of videos on this. Yes, realistically, I'd rather sign someone than trade. I don't want to give up draft capital to go get a middle linebacker unless it's a really, really good one. The problem is that Greenlaw is not going to be available until week 7. So if you do sign somebody, it would have to be for a limited time. I still think Isaiah Simmons is a great fit for this defense. He's an athletic freak. He's like 6'4", 240 pounds. And he runs like a 4.4. It's unbelievable. And he plays linebacker. You could go out and get him. He's unemployed currently. Just sign him to a vet minimum and then demote him to the practice squad or release him after he's done his job. He can make a quick few bucks, and he helps the Broncos out. Danny, we need to stop pretending that Bo is a top-tier quarterback. He's not there yet. The defense needs to carry this team. I do agree with the second part of your statement. The defense does need to carry this team. I don't think anybody's really been pretending that Bo is a top-tier quarterback. Now, at the beginning of the year, I said he was top 12. I still think he has that capability. He's clearly not playing like it right now. I think there's a lot that Bo is trying to do, and it's too much. Just play your Bo Nix style of football. Back foot, push your hips forward, make a read, go through your progressions, and then deliver the ball on time and accurately. If you throw the ball 26 times a game with Bo Nix and he completes 18 or 19 of them, that's the sweet spot that you have to live in. All out Broncos. Should they bench Riley Moss? I have been concerned with him the last part of the last season. I knew somebody was going to get to this question. Look, Riley Moss, while the numbers might indicate that Riley Moss is playing all right, the truth of the matter is that he gets cooked on big plays way too much. They've been playing him a lot in man coverage, and sometimes he wins, and most of the time he doesn't. He's given up huge plays to the Indianapolis Colts, and he gave up some big plays over the middle when they played the Chargers as well. And the more and more that you play good quarterbacks, the more and more they can pick apart man coverage. I think that Riley Moss has his best intentions, and I know that he's taking this personally because he said it. I take the loss, talking about the Chargers loss, personally. Giving up that late touchdown, but we're going to get better from it. It just sucks. We're tired of losing games like this. He's not Pat Surtain. We know that to be true. He just isn't. The fact of the matter is that Riley Moss, while he might be a quality starting caliber wide receiver cornerback, he's getting cooked far too often. And that is why I listed him as a trade candidate for the Denver Broncos. He's got some talent. He does. The problem is that talent doesn't always translate onto the field. And get this. According to Next Gen Stats, this is from Broncos Sports Illustrated, Moss currently is the second most targeted cornerback in the NFL. It might come as a surprise that Moss has allowed 13 catches on 27 targets for 170 yards through the opening 3 weeks. Still, it was Moss getting beat in the end zone last Sunday that sticks in the minds of recently disgruntled sections of Broncos Country, even though his coverage was about as good as it gets, echoing exactly what I just told you. For the most part, he's been fine. But every single game now, it looks like there's a play here, there's a play there, there's a big moment here, a big moment there, where Riley Moss doesn't show up. And that's inexcusable, because you can play in 90% of the game excellently. But if the 10% is you giving up the game, that's a problem. So should the Broncos bench Riley Moss? Type B for bench or S for start. I'm still out yet because I don't quite know what Jahdae Barron's best position is. When we find out a little bit more about where he fits best, then maybe I'll give you a more accurate answer. Either way, you let me know in the comments section down below. Now, coming up, we're going to answer some more Denver Broncos questions just for you guys. But before we do that, I got to tell you about my friends from Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day. But on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. All you have to do is not miss any of the action all football season long with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Pick 2 to 6 players and their stat projections. And all you got to do is pick the more or less on that. And then boom, watch your money multiply. You could win up to 2,000 times your money on Prize Picks. How does it work? I created a lineup for week 4, just for you, Denver Broncos related. My max discount play. Jalen Hurts, the more on the half a passing yard. Cortland Sutton, the more on the receiving yards. And then Will Lutz, I do think, makes more than 1.5 field goals made. Yours can look like this, but it can look completely different. All you got to do is download the app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup with code CLNS. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Bossman Jay, fan favorite of the show. What's up, brother? Who would be your biggest trade target before the trade deadline? I'll give you 2, and I made a video on it. David Njoku or Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill probably makes more sense from a schematic standpoint, but the fact that you could have Evan Ingram and David Njoku as your 12 personnel set, right? Your dual tight end set just would feed families. Njoku has such God-given strength over the middle of the field to body off bigger defenders like linebackers or bigger safeties. He can push off of them with ease, whereas Evan Ingram is a little bit more silky. He plays more like a wide receiver than he does a tight end. The yin and yang of those two would be magnifique. So I absolutely say David Njoku or Tyreek Hill. Josh, what's up, buddy? How many interceptions do the Broncos get against Browning? I'm thinking 2. Moss pulls one down. QB tends to test him more frequently. Hufanga gets the other one off of a tip. Well, Moss actually tipped a ball into the air earlier against the Chargers, and Brandon Jones picked that one off. So, or was that against the Colts? I think it was against the Chargers. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's one of those 2 games, but it definitely happened. I don't think Moss has one. I think Surtain gets his first one, and I also think that if you are going with 2, I'll probably say, yeah, I'll give you Talanoa Hufanga. I'll give him one. Maybe on a deep ball, because I'm sure they're going to try to throw the ball. They're going to be down to the Broncos, so they're going to try and stretch the field, especially with Jamar Chase. So give me Hufanga and give me Pat Surtain. Roush Guy. Why are we not running the ball more? It's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. They need to. That is one of the biggest priorities that I have told the Broncos in all of my videos. Start establishing the run. I want to see 25 to 28 rushing attempts for the Broncos against the Bengals. Their defense sucks. They can establish the game. They can dominate the game, get out to an early lead, and then coast into week 5 at 2-2. Please, Sean Payton, Joe Lombardi, Davis Webb, run the football. Pops, this will be our last one. Does defense need to score once or twice to win? They shouldn't have to. They should continue to do what they do, which is put pressure on the quarterback and force 3 and outs. But it would be nice to see a pick 6, would it not? It really would. Or like a scoop and score. I think that'd be great as well. But you know what? It's a great question. I do think that they need to find the end zone once or twice before it gets a little too out of hand. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. A reminder to hit that sub button if you haven't already. Like today's video, and as always, be cool.